In this episode, David Russell meets with Vasco Almeida Dias of Lexity Law.
Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of the Lisbon Sessions. We thought about going to the park, but we couldn't be bothered, because they're doing a huge thing for the Sporting or Benfica Champions celebrations, and it's all looking a bit busy over there. So we've just popped out of the Lexity offices. I'm joined by Vasco from Lexity Lawyers in the financial district of Lisbon, just above Marques Pombal, on a beautiful Lisbon day. I think let's go down Rua Castillo. It's a lovely little street with trees and it's a little boulevard, you would call it. So hopefully for all you viewers sitting around the world, you'll enjoy our little sojourn down Rua Castillo. Vasco, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you,
You've been a bit of a veteran. You might recognise Vasco from some webinars that we've done over previous years. Long time ago, when we both looked a lot younger, to be honest.
Indeed.
Right, as I always say, give us a 30-second pitch on Lexity. Tell people why they should be dealing with Lexity for their Golden Visa.
Well, first of all, David, thank you for the invitation. A pleasure being with you here today. And as a note, we hope that on Saturday, what you just mentioned is Benfica and not Sporting. Let's see. In terms of Lexity, so Lexity is an immigration law firm. The immigration is our core business, and inside immigration, a few years ago, 4 years ago, we have created a specific Golden Visa department so that we can my team exclusively assists Golden Visa clients investing in Portugal. We believe this is the best way to handle all those cases, considering the specificities of the Golden Visa investors when compared to all the other visas. Lexity, just as a note, we are present in 6 different countries, but in today's meeting we'll of course focus in the Portuguese office and the Portuguese Golden Visa.
Now, in terms of the other programs, obviously Malta's, I think, suffered a bit of a setback with the European Court of Justice. Spain has pulled back. Are you finding the interest in Portugal ever increasing?
Well, I must admit that's a fact. Since November with the US elections, of course, we felt a huge increase in the amount of leads, not only in Portugal, in all the jurisdictions. Of course, the end of the Spanish program helped a lot Portugal. Since we used to work with Spain as well. We felt internally that we had a lot of leads that were interested initially in Spain that were internally passed to me and to Greece as well. And we have very recent clients that were initially interested in Spain and are now investing in Portugal.
And I think as well, we've mentioned it before on the sessions. I mean, Portugal is a fantastic country to live in, but you can use the Portugal citizenship route as a vehicle for going into the EU. You can end up with, grandkids. I always quote the grandkids in Paris studying, the grandparents retired to Spain, yourself living in France. It doesn't necessarily, the end goal, doesn't necessarily have to be Portugal, regardless of how beautiful this place is.
No, that's definitely the case of, I don't want to tell you an exact number, but many of our clients, their ultimate goal of most of them is the passport, of course. Not specifically for Portugal, despite the weather, the food, everything, but because it's an open door to the Schengen area, to Europe. So that's always a good choice. And especially if we compare the path we have in Portugal for the passport when compared to Spain, what they used to have, and Greece, it's incomparable. In Spain, it was 10 years. In Greece, 7 years. But you need to, in fact, live in the country. In Portugal, we know that with the Golden Visa, we are talking about legal residency, which is, to be more exact, 14 days every 2 years.
And again, I mean, I often jump in and say, look, we can't take anything for granted, everybody around the world. We love the Golden Visa. I think it's a great program, very honest program. It's not involved with the European Court of Justice and the Maltese situation, but you can't take anything for granted. Although political parties look aligned, they may nudge it up to 6 years for Golden Visa. What I'm saying is, if you want to explore residency seriously by investment programs, once you made up your mind, you really want to get involved. So you don't want to sit on your hands and just expect these programs to be around forever.
Definitely, a hot topic I have with many of our clients is that, I was looking for the Portuguese Golden Visa. I have been looking since 3-4 years ago when the real estate option was available. Unfortunately, I missed that opportunity. We listen this a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you said, if you as an investor are looking to get a golden visa, if it's the Portuguese one, although, and this is just my opinion, I do not expect any legal change anytime soon. If you are really decided to move forward, let's do it. Let's not waste time, because eventually what happened in Spain and in Malta, although it's different, might happen in Portugal. The political parties might agree on ending this program or change it once again, just like they did in 2023. So my suggestion is, if you are really decided, let's start with the first steps: tax ID, bank account, and then you can decide on the investment.
No, I agree. Now, Vasco and I are coming up to a rather busy road here, so we're going to pause, cross safely, and then we're going to come back to you. Right, everybody, road safely crossed. Vasco and I are still here, not taking any chances. So, yeah, I think, Vasco, just to summarise that last point, don't sit on your hands, everybody. If you're interested in Golden Visa, pick up the phone, pick a representative, get your hand held through the process, get proper advice. Let's go. When it comes to, I mean, another thing as well is we can't, ignore the elephant in the room. Donald Trump is obviously, ruffling a few feathers in America, and that's causing people who do not necessarily agree with some of his policies, or don't necessarily feel comfortable with some of his policies. They're looking at a plan B. But again, I think we have to come back to the fact that if you're investing in the Portuguese Golden Visa, you're investing in euros. You're not investing in some strange far-off currency that may devalue significantly over the course of your 5-year investment.
No, that's for sure the case. So when investing in Portugal in a fund like yours, you are extremely regulated by CMVM, which is our SEC equivalent to the US. So it's something that gives confidence not only to the investor but also for us as lawyers. We cannot financially advise. We do not do that. But of course, we are the point of contact with our clients, with the investors. So we always hope that our clients make a good decision on the investment, so that over the 5-year period or more, the investment can be safe, and that ultimately they get the passport, they get their money back with some dividends. That's the goal for all the parties involved in the Golden Visa process.
And I mean, some may argue even that the euro could possibly be a stronger currency in 5 years than the dollar. So again, you're not, as I said, you've not got a tremendous currency risk there, putting your money into euros for 5 years. And again, I say this all the time, but the fact the CMVM, the fact the Portuguese financial regulator is heavily involved in monitoring the funds that people invest into, it gives people a tremendous amount of protection as well. They're not investing in funds that, there's no supervision over.
No, absolutely. That part is, in my opinion, on that side is a safer investment, even when compared with the real estate, because as we know, some of the real estate developers had some issues over the years, and some of the constructions are still pending. So with the funds, that's highly unlikely to happen.
Yeah, I think that's very true. And you've got the opportunity, I always say, people, you've got the diversification perspective. We don't necessarily believe that people should, or people have invested their full amounts in new frontiers, and we've absolutely loved that. But we don't necessarily expect everybody to do that. We just expect a seat at the table of a portfolio, and people to consider new frontiers when they're building their investment portfolio and looking to diversify. And just coming back to you again, Vasco and I crossing another sort of internal significant trunk road in Lisbon. Vasco, I think it's worth just giving us, if somebody's interested at home in the Golden Visa program, in 25-30 seconds, just give us a very quick rundown on what are actually the next steps. What do you need to do in order to get this process properly started?
Absolutely. So when I explain the Golden Visa process, I like to split it into 2 parts. The initial one, I'll call it investment. The second one, immigration.
Okay.
On the investment part, which is the one you are asking about, we have 3 major steps. The first one is the Portuguese tax ID, called NIF, N-I-F. The second one, the bank account, a Portuguese bank account, very important for the completion of the investment. And the third one and last one is the investment itself, that will include the onboarding with the fund or funds and the actual transfer.
Right, okay. And what do you, I mean, just ballpark, what on average, how long does it take from picking up the phone to you to the money's invested and at least the clock is ticking?
Well, being conservative, and on average, our clients, or we submit our clients' application usually 2 months after the initial call we have.
Okay, I've got you. And in terms of investments, what are people traditionally, how many funds are they going for?
Well, this is something that has been changing over the years. I must say that since the end of last year, October, November, we are seeing something, at least at Lexity, which is most of the investors are splitting more and more the investment. While until next year, we used to see a lot of people doing the whole amount in one single fund. We are now seeing at least 2, 3. I have a couple of clients who invested in 5 different funds.
Wow, there's a lot. That's almost, I was going to say, it's more an endurance battle of listening to people like me talking about their funds, to be honest. Oh my goodness, you've got to listen to 5 people like me telling you their fund's the best in the world.
No, I mean, they're
take my
trying
hats off.
to diversify. I understand that.
course.
5, it's a little bit extreme, although just so people know, it's legally possible.
Of course, well, 100,000, if you say 100,000 into each fund for 500,000, completely makes sense. I take my hat off to those people that are prepared to sit and listen to people like me talking away at them. Vasco, thank you so much. Vasco will no doubt be appearing again, probably on a webinar near you. Vasco, has always been great to see you.
Likewise,
We've dodged some significant traffic. I think it might be time for a coffee.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the invitation, David. Always a
Thanks
pleasure.
for watching, everybody. See you in another episode of Lisbon Sessions.